Hello and welcome to the 2022 Specialty Crop Block Grant Program, or SCBGP, Concept Proposal Application and FAAST webinar. This presentation will provide an overview of the concept proposal application, followed by a demonstration of the FAAST system. The concept proposal application is contained in the FAAST system in a series of tabs. For this presentation, we will focus on the general information, questionnaire, and attachment tabs. It is important to answer all of the questions on the concept proposal application because failure to answer one or more of them may result in a proposal being disqualified. The first tab is the General Information tab, and it contains 4 items. The applicant organization, which should match the legal name of the organization that will serve as lead for the project and will receive grant funds. The submitting organization should match the name of the organization submitting the concept proposal application. In most cases, this is the same as the applicant organization. However, if a grant writer prepares a concept proposal application on behalf of an applicant, you must disclose the grant writing organization to prevent any possible conflicts of interest during the review process. Next, provide a title that concisely describes your project in 15 words or less, and please avoid using acronyms here. And lastly, provide a project description. You can think of this as an abstract or a 1-paragraph overview of your project. Remember, this is the first section of your proposal that reviewers will read. It should summarize exactly what your project will do using clear language and avoiding jargon. A good project description briefly covers the core components of the proposed project, including a description of the problem, how the project will address it, what the expected outcomes are, and how you will evaluate them. If you are interested, you can find titles and descriptions for previously funded projects on our website. Next is the Project Budget tab. This tab provides a summary of the project budget. For funds requested, enter the total number of Specialty Crop Block Grant Program or SCBGP funds that you are seeking for your project. This amount must match Category I in the budget template that you will attach to your concept proposal application in FAAST and must be between $100,000 and $500,000 or between $50,000 and $100,000 for the Additional Assistance Program. Please note that a request outside of this range may result in a proposal being disqualified. For local cost match, estimate the amount of cost share committed to your project. Cost share includes matching funds and in-kind contributions. To clarify the difference, matching funds refers to a dollar amount committed to your project from a source other than SCBGP. And in-kind contribution is the estimated dollar value of any time, property, or supplies donated to your project. An example of an in-kind contribution would be someone working on your project that is not paid. You would estimate the value of their in-kind contribution based on what they would typically be paid for similar work. Please note that cost share is not required, and also that the amount does not get reported on the budget template. And lastly, under total budget, enter the sum of the funds requested and the local cost match. The Questionnaire tab contains the 11 sections that make up the core of the concept proposal. These include the 7 items that will be scored, and there are 50 points possible. The first section is organization type. For this question, select the organization type that best describes the applicant. Nonprofits, for-profits, local, state, federal, and tribal government agencies, and colleges and universities are eligible to apply. However, individuals are not eligible to apply. If you are an individual, you must partner with one of the listed organization types to submit a collaborative project. And this question is unscored. Section 2 is where you'll select a funding area and funding category. Please read the full description of the funding areas and categories in the Request for Concept Proposals, or RFCP. Then select the most appropriate funding area and category for your project from the drop-down menu. We understand that projects might seem to address elements from multiple funding categories. However, you must select the one funding category that most closely aligns with the primary focus of your project. The funding category is a key part of your application since the proposed project will be evaluated on how it addresses a need for the specialty crop industry within the selected category. Further, the funding category determines which committee will review your concept proposal application, ensuring that your application is evaluated by reviewers with the relevant area of expertise. It is important to note that funding categories cannot be changed at any time after the concept proposal application is submitted, which means misidentified proposal applications cannot be reassigned. Therefore, it is vital to select carefully so that your proposal can be evaluated adequately. And this question is unscored. Section 3 addresses program priorities. In the RFCP, each funding category has a list of associated program priorities. These priorities serve as a guide to the general issues impacting the specialty crop industry within each funding category. Program priorities should correlate with the specific existing issue, problem, or need of the specialty crop industry that your project will address. All projects must address at least one priority. And please note that proposals that select multiple program priorities do not receive extra consideration. At least one of the priorities listed must be associated with the funding category you identified for Section 2. We also ask that you copy and paste the program priorities exactly as written in the RFCP. Please do not alter them in any way. And provide a brief explanation of how the project will address each priority selected. And this question is worth 5 points. Section 4 looks at the project purpose. This will be where you describe how your project answers the question, is the project a priority for the specialty crop industry? There will be 2 text boxes provided for this question. In the first text box, thoroughly explain the issue, problem, or need of the specialty crop industry that your project will address. Be sure to discuss this in relation to the funding category and program priorities you have identified. Remember to describe how your project targets an external problem facing the specialty crop industry rather than an internal problem facing your organization. Describe the issue in detail and use data to support your arguments. Also, be sure to establish why your organization is well equipped to address this issue. And in the second box, explain why the issue you identified is important and timely for the specialty crop industry. This is also the place to list the specific specialty crops that will be affected if possible. And keep in mind the ultimate purpose of all projects must be to enhance the competitiveness of California specialty crops. And this question is worth 10 points. The next section, Section 5, asks whether the proposal you are submitting builds upon a previous project that was funded by the SCBGP. If your proposed project builds upon a previously funded project, select Yes from the drop-down menu provided, and in the first text box, provide the grant number for the previous project. And in the second text box, explain how the proposed project differs from and builds upon the previous work. The key thing to note here is that the SCBGP cannot fund projects that duplicate work done in prior projects, so it is important to thoroughly describe how the proposed project is different from any previous projects. Also note that if your organization has received funding in the past for an unrelated project, it is not necessary to disclose that here. And if your proposal does not build upon a prior year SCBGP project, select No from the drop-down menu, and this question is unscored. Section 6 is about project sustainability. USDA and CDFA want awarded projects to have a long-term impact without relying indefinitely on grant funding. Therefore, for this question, in the text box provided, explain how your project will become self-sustaining beyond the grant duration. For example, if your project will create a new program, outline a plan for how the program will continue to exist after the end of the grant period. Or for projects that will not continue beyond the grant duration, describe how the results of your project will continue to benefit California's specialty crop industry after the project is complete. For example, a research project may post findings on a website that will continue to be accessible after the grant duration. This question is worth 5 points. Section 7 asks about identifying and describing the project beneficiaries. In the first text box, estimate the approximate number of project beneficiaries. This number should be realistic, trackable, and reportable. In the second text box, describe how the number of beneficiaries was determined, who the beneficiaries are, and how they will benefit from the results of the project. Note that beneficiaries identified should be direct or primary beneficiaries of the project results. This typically does not include secondary beneficiaries such as employees of the applicant organization or all the farmers in California. Also, keep in mind that projects directly benefiting a single individual or organization are not allowable. It is expected that projects will benefit some segment of the specialty crop industry. And lastly, if possible, identify the specific specialty crops that will be affected. This question is worth 5 points. Section 8 is where project outcome measures are selected. You won't select or provide information regarding the outcome measures in FAAST. Instead, click the link in Section 8 to download and save the Microsoft Word outcome measures template to your computer. Open the saved document, fill in the information, and save it again, and then upload the completed Word document in the Attachments tab. After you have uploaded it into FAAST, we recommend that you open the document from FAAST to confirm that it is correct. Today's FAAST demonstration will show you exactly what the Attachments tab looks like and how to upload a file. In the template, you will identify one or more outcome measures to demonstrate that the project will enhance the competitiveness of California specialty crops. And another presentation will cover the outcome measures more thoroughly, so we won't go into any further detail here. The outcome measures template is worth 10 points. Section 9 confirms the project duration. The maximum grant duration for SCBGP projects is 2 years and 6 months, or 2 years for the Additional Assistance Program. Projects cannot start before November 1st, 2022, or end after April 30th of 2025. When you enter the dates in FAAST, make sure to use a 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and 4-digit year format. Note that any dates outside this range may result in disqualification. We don't assume that a date outside the range is a typo, so please double check this before submitting. This question is unscored. Section 10 is about the project work plan and outreach. In the first text box, describe the proposed plan to accomplish the project work. List the activities that will be conducted to ensure the project objectives and selected outcome measures can be achieved. The work plan should also indicate who will be responsible for each activity. Note that anyone who is designated to receive funding in the budget must be listed in the work plan. And estimate when each activity will occur. Be sure the dates for all the activities are within the specified project duration for the project. And in the second text box, describe the project's outreach component. In other words, how the project results will be shared with the target audience, stakeholders, and other interested parties beyond those directly involved with the project. Some examples of outreach include conference presentations, journal articles, educational materials, or website content. And this question is worth 10 points. The last section of the Questionnaire tab, number 11, is the budget template. As with the outcome measures, you won't actually fill out your project budget in FAAST. Click the link in section 11 to download and save the Microsoft Word budget template to your computer. Open the saved document, fill in the information, save it again, and then upload the completed Word document in the Attachments tab. After you have uploaded it, again, we recommend that you open the document from FAAST to confirm that it is correct. And as mentioned before, today's FAAST demonstration will show you exactly what the Attachments tab looks like and how to upload a file. All items listed in your budget template must support enhancing the competitiveness of specialty crops and directly relate to the project objectives. The budget template is worth 5 points. For both the outcome measures and budget templates, there are a few specific issues to keep in mind that could result in the disqualification of your concept proposal application, such as submitting an incorrect or incomplete template, which would also include any modification of the templates, attaching a blank template by mistake, or forgetting to attach your template. Once again, please double check to make sure you attach the correct outcome measures and budget templates to your application before you submit. Finally, there are a number of resources and links available on the SCBGP website to help as you are completing your proposal. These include the allowable and unallowable costs and activities table, which has also been provided today, the question and answers from our 3 rounds of Q&A, and links to recordings of our webinar, which will be available at the end of the first week of October. That concludes the concept proposal application presentation. Feel free to continue sending in your questions. And up next, we will begin the FAAST demonstration. This presentation will review how to complete and submit your application online. Our program uses FAAST, which stands for the Financial Assistance Application Submittal Tool. FAAST is hosted by the State Water Resources Control Board. All applications must be submitted electronically using FAAST. Hard copies will not be accepted. So this is the FAAST homepage. This is where you're going to come to create your account and sign in and work on your application. Over here on the left are links to how-to videos, the user manual for FAAST, and as well at the bottom is the contact information for the FAAST Help Desk, which is staffed Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and their contact information is here. You can contact them via phone or email. So if you already have a FAAST account from a previous application, you don't need to create a new account. You can use your existing account. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create an account if this is your first time using FAAST. You're going to click the Create Account button, and that's going to take you to a page where you can search for your organization name. If you search for your organization and nothing shows up, you can click this button to create a new organization, and it takes you to a page where you can enter your organization's name and the address of your organization. I'm going to go ahead and choose an existing organization today, and it's going to take me to a page where I enter all of my user details and contact information. We recommend you subscribe to the email alerts, as the system will notify you of when things are due and send you reminder emails. I'm going to create a username and password and choose a security question. And then I'm going to go ahead and click this button to create my user account. So it's going to show me a confirmation page, and then we're going to click the button and go back to the login page. And then I'm going to log in with the username and password that I just created and log into the system. This is the main menu in FAAST. This is what you're going to see each time you log in. I'm going to start a new application in just a moment, but first I wanted to point out the links for the active applications. So this is where you're going to access any application you've started but not submitted. You can still view all the applications you have submitted under the Submitted Applications link, and any applications that have been processed or that were not submitted before the deadline can be viewed here under Processed and Inactive Applications. And also there are links to update your profile and password if you need to do that. And again, at the bottom are links to those resources in case you run into any trouble with FAAST while you're using it. So we're going to start a new application, and this page just has some recommendations from FAAST. So we're going to check those boxes and hit continue. And this page is going to let us choose whether or not we are applying on behalf of our own organization, or if, for example, we're a grant writer applying on behalf of another organization, we would choose option 2. Since I am applying on behalf of my own organization, I'm going to go ahead and choose option 1. And that's going to take me to a page that shows all the active RFPs in FAAST right now. We're going to select 2022 Specialty Crop Block Grant Program. And then a confirmation page will show you making sure you selected the correct RFP. And it will also show you and verify that the applicant organization and submitting organization are correct. So we're going to continue to the application. And this is what the application looks like. It's organized into these tabs along the top. So we'll go through each one of those tabs. The first tab being the general information, where you're going to enter a project title and description, as well as a latitude and longitude and county, if that's known to you. And at the bottom of each tab are navigation buttons. So we'll go over the Preview Submit button at the end. And each tab has a Save as Work in Progress button and a Next, and on the additional tabs there'll be a Previous button to navigate through the tabs. So right now we're going to save our work in progress. So I recommend saving often. And as long as you've saved your work, you can feel free to log out and log back in at another time to finish your application. You don't have to do it all in one login attempt. So the next tab we're going to navigate to is the project budget. You're going to enter your funds requested, the local cost match, if there is any, and the total budget. And as well, there's a box here to enter your DUNS number if it wasn't entered when your organization was created in FAAST. I'm going to go ahead and save my work and go to the Funding tab. So this tab is the easiest tab in the whole application. It should already be completed. This box should be checked, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else on this tab. So the Project Management tab is next. You're going to enter information for the project director and project manager on this tab. Typically, the project director is the one authorized to apply and receive grant funding, and the project manager is the day-to-day contact for the project. So We recommend entering 2 different individuals for these roles, as these will be people who will be notified of any updates or status change on the application. And if there's different, hopefully at least somebody will get the application status update if somebody's out of the office or not checking their email that day. So the next tab is the legislative information. So we would like you to select a primary legislative district for the state Senate, Assembly, and U.S. congressional districts of where the project is occurring. And if the project covers additional districts, you can select as many as you need to over here in these boxes. And at the bottom are choices for multiple and statewide as well. And if you don't know what district it is, you can look up the district with the address and zip code via these links over here on the right. So we're going to save and navigate to the Cooperating Entities tab. So this is going to let you enter information about anybody who has an active role in the project. You can list the name of the entity, what their role or contribution to the project is, and who the contact is at that entity. Please just make sure you have the authorization from that individual and entity to list them as part of your application. There's no limit to the number of entities you can list. Each different entity will show up here in a list. So the next tab is the Questionnaire tab. Since this is where you will be spending the bulk of your time on the application, most likely, there is a 90-minute timer at the top. So if that timer gets to 0, it will log you out of the system, and anything you've done since the last time you hit that Save as Work in Progress button will be lost. So that's why I recommend saving your work often. So this is where you're going to answer all the application questions via drop-down or text box. And at the bottom of each text box, you'll notice that there are red characters saying what the character maximum is and how many characters you have remaining in each text box. And there are also this type of answer where you select a date. So on the Questionnaire tab are also the links to download the outcome measures and budget template in section 8 and 11, respectively. So we're going to save our work and navigate to the Attachments tab, where we will upload our budget and outcome measures templates. Pretty simple, just select from the drop down here. It'll give it a title automatically, and then you choose the file from your computer and then hit attach selected file. And then just another reminder, once you've uploaded these, go ahead and click these links to verify that the correct completed version was attached and uploaded into the system. And then the last 2 tabs are sort of informational. So the Status tab will just let you know what the current status of the application is. And the Add User tab will allow you to add additional users to this PIN number. So if you're working with a coworker, you can add their username to this PIN and they'll have access in their account. Just be careful if multiple people are working on the PIN at the same time that you're not overwriting each other's work and saving incorrect information and overwriting each other's progress. We recommend that only one person works on the application at a time. After everything is complete and you're ready to submit, you're going to click the Preview and Submit button. And it's going to take you to this page that's a read-only version of everything you've entered into the system. It's going to let you know if you missed or didn't answer any of the application questions with the little red box here. So if you see any red boxes, you're probably going to want to go back and address that. And if everything looks complete and ready to submit, you're going to click the application completion check button at the bottom. And it's going to tell you that the proposal appears complete, or if it finds any errors, it will let you know and you can navigate back to the application to correct those errors. It's saying mine appears complete, so we're going to sign our proposal by typing our initials into the box and hitting submit application. It's very important that you actually hit the submit application button. Reaching this page does not submit the application. So you're going to want to hit the button and verify that you see this submission confirmation page, and you'll also get a email confirmation with your PIN number. And again, if you have any issues with FAAST, please contact the help desk via their email or phone number. And that concludes the FAAST demonstration, and we will now answer any questions you might have. Thank you. That concludes today's webinar. All remaining questions that were submitted during today's webinar will be answered in CDFA's questions and answers. Again, we encourage you to submit any additional questions you have via email to grants@cdfa.ca.gov. And just a reminder that answers to questions received via email and at our webinars will be included in the questions and answers posted to CDFA's Specialty Crop Block Grant Program website. New questions and answers will be posted each week, and a link to the recordings of our webinars will also be posted on our website. One last thing before we sign off today, we ask that you please take a moment to fill out our webinar evaluation survey to let us know how we did today. This survey only takes a minute or two to complete and will help us improve the quality of our webinars. You can access the evaluation survey immediately following the end of this webinar. We really appreciate your taking a few minutes to help us by providing your feedback. Thank you again for attending today's webinar. We look forward to receiving your proposals.